in traditional Pendragon tradition, welcome to another low energy, no impact introduction. This is King Arthur Pendragon 5.2, the Great Pendragon Campaign, episode...
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I was going to say, are you turning back to an old leaf in February now? Now it's February, you're back to low energy Arthur.
Listen, if I go back to toxic negativity, Arthur, I think some people may throw me off a cliff. So I have to be very careful about what intros I perform. Yeah, it's episode 42, by the way, just in case you were wondering. It's the year 499. And your wagon train, I guess it would be more consistent to call it a baggage train, since you probably aren't using wagons. A baggage train of knights, squires, vultures, camp followers, attendees, prisoners, and all of your supplies rush from Ridichan back to East Salisbury in time for the tournament. And you arrive the morning of your own tournament, Kendric, right? It's your tournament. When you arrive, there are an enormous number of issues. Your land is prepared to handle the 1,000 people that are expected to be there. They were originally planning 3 days, but your wife has extended it to 5 days, and she's already changed the whole schedule on the assumption you won't make it back in time. So the first day is just speeches and games, and they've added a joust on the first day.
Oh.
There's also a list of people who you need to either up or down vote whether they are allowed to attend.
Okay.
Not necessarily that they are allowed to attend, but whether or not they are allowed to participate in nightly activities. There is a arrival from Silchester.
Okay.
Sir Peak from Silchester. There's just a question of whether Silchesterians are allowed in your territory. You know, it's supposed to be a local tournament, but some have come from afar. There's also a issue with someone who is not a knight who would like to enter into the melee portion of the battles. They are from Somerset, who do not always officially have knights. They refer to this person, they call themselves a quester of justice.
Are there like jobber knights that we can bring in to like lose fights and build up like a rivalry between the Silchesterian knight and one of our Salisbury knights, and you know, get a whole story going, face heel sort of thing?
So you are suggesting that you will pay knights to intentionally lose?
I didn't suggest anything like that.
Okay,
so.
it just sounded like, as you said, jobber knights. I mean, a jobber by definition is someone who's paid to lose. I just question the honor of such a profession. That's not entertainment. That's sports entertainment, which is very different. So this is York of Somerset, who is known as the Quester of Justice.
I mean, I, just for the audience, at the time we are recording this, the Royal Rumble is currently underway.
Okay.
So
great. Could the Undertaker make an appearance?
Perfect timing. You never know.
He literally climbs out of his own very real grave, surprising no one.
Is there anybody else for yay, nay? This is your show. Sorry, I think you're asking us to be an opinion.
Sir Ufo would also like to show up. There is a question of the wisdom of allowing such a high-ranking knight to participate when they are of low skill ceiling.
Sure.
It would be a shame for him to dishonor himself, but denying him the opportunity for battle would also be bad.
Mm-hmm. And to be clear, he also did not participate in the tourney he threw.
Correct. He did not participate in his own
for Lady Jenna. Yeah.
But he has come here with Lady Jenna to participate in your tournament
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Is that the list?
There is one more at the bottom of the list, a new addition who has arrived this morning. Your wife is not certain whether he technically counts as a knight or not. So
Mhm.
Sir Leo has yet to officially accept the position of sheriff of the or like county bailiff along those lines. He has, however, spent the whole summer distributing justice. In the process of his lone quest, he encountered a sort of battle where a peasant jumped in on his side and he knighted the man on the spot for his honor and bravery. However, he doesn't have a house, or any backing. He only owns the sword that he was given by Sir Leo. So there is some question as to whether, someone who doesn't even have armor should be allowed to
Mhm.
participate at the tournament of a knight banneret like yourself, an honorable man.
Indeed.
This
Indeed.
up jump peasant. His name
Um,
is Sir Lawrence Craft, although
Sports
your wife
Craft.
simply calls him Lawrence.
Is that craft with a K?
It is Craft with a K.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. So let me just pop open the old character sheet here because I'm pretty sure my suspicion Silchester is quite high. Yeah, 11. Um, so I think, first off, does my wife have an opinion on any of these?
She directly does not like the idea of Sir Lawrence Craft making an appearance at your tournament.
Okay.
That this is something that the Countess should sort out before he is officially announced. Status and propriety and culture being what it is. If you allow him to participate here, you are
Making a
implicitly
statement.
saying that he is a knight.
Mhm. Okay. So, no to Sir Peak.
Unbelievable.
Um, yes to the Quester of Justice, York of Somerset.
Very well.
Um, yes to Sir Ufo.
Interesting. Now, just for my edification,
Mhm.
you're aware UFO is from Silchester.
Yes, but he's the Duke's son and he's the heir to
Yes,
state.
okay,
He's
okay.
the
I
heir.
see. I see. I just don't know how you're going to explain it to Sir Peak, but you can just show up and say you weren't invited.
Well, you can just tell Sir Peak that it's obviously not about where he's from because you let Sir Ufo in.
Oh,
So
there we
it's
go.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes.
So you're not discriminating against Silchester. He's discriminating against you. So
Yes, yes, yes. That will make it better, of course. And of Lawrence?
Yeah, I'm torn. Um, I'm going to say yes to Lawrence.
Okay. Weona of Pitton will remember this.
Yeah. Look, the county needs capable fighters. This is a chance to see what this man is made of and whether whether or not he has what it takes to be a knight. If he doesn't, the chances are he'll die very soon.
All right. Gwiona frowns, but leaves to continue administrative duties. Would you like to move tournament events around, or are you okay with the first day just being a sort of, hey, we're here, guys?
Uh, I don't think I'm going to uh, shift anything else that my wife has prepared.
Okay.
Uh, she's much better at this than I am.
Okay. All right. So all of you have a chance to rest before the tournament officially begins. If you would like to participate in today's joust, you will take a -5 on any horsemanship rolls, as your horses are all tired from a long ride. Spoon's like, I want that joust. I'm hungry for jousting.
So I also have this this Red Bull, this Posca that Squire Galen gave me, but I think that was for me, not for my horse.
You already drank it.
No, that was.
Oh yes. Yeah, it's meant for human consumption.
Yes, yeah,
it's
gave me the
tested on animals. It also wasn't tested on humans, just to be clear.
It wasn't tested at all.
Are you sure you want to give a horse wings? Because that's how you get Pegasuses, and then they just never come back.
Yeah.
Joust, anyone? Joust? Going around the clock?
I think I'm going to go ahead and take the joust.
The joust, very well.
I'm just here to support my brother. What I'll largely be doing here is coordinating getting my people who aren't staying for the competition to head on to my estate to contribute to what they need to there. That'll be like
get your peasants back home. Yes,
my levies, that sort of stuff. Yeah, and probably there might have to be a couple of men at arms to actually guard them back to Shrewton.
Sorry, I said peasants. What I meant was serfs.
Yeah, levies.
And you said it was a -5 to horsemanship rolls?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you get hit, you have to stay.
Make a horsemanship check. Yeah.
Yeah. Kyned? Joust?
Kyned is not going to joust. I think he sees the wisdom in what Gwgan is doing and is also going to arrange for the return of his serfs.
All right, Kendric, roll a d10. We'll see who your joust opponent is on this day.
That is a big 3.
You find yourself lining up to joust against another knight who I believe was on the trail with you. It's Dame Mayfie.
Hey, all right.
And you know that you are better at jousting than her. You know, based on seeing her fight, that you are the better knight at this.
Okay, so lance.
Very well. So these lances are all, whatever they call it, rebated.
Rebated, blunted.
Damage.
Is it half, or I thought it was a 10? Or 1/10?
It's 1/10 the honor, but 1/2 the damage.
Gotcha, okay. That is a success on lance for me.
That will tie.
So we shatter our lances.
Your horses make their way down the list at each other, or the proto list, since there's nothing quite so, down the field at each other. The horses are tired. It's very clear that they're giving it their all. These chargers are really pushing it to the limit, but it's like playing the Jurassic Park song on an accordion at like 0.75 speed. You know, wah, 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 wah. This is not the most exciting start of a joust when people have seen high energy impact shows like Sir Kerwin versus Sir Hayden. Like people were like, yeah.
You know, like in like the Knight's Tale when they hit and like the lances like explode. Yeah. This is not that. Like the lances hit and just like kind of snap in half.
That trombone plays.
Keeps her seat against you and gives you an up nod with her chain helmet, chain whatever, and then gestures to her squire to bring her a new lance.
And I will do the same.
Okay.
That is a success for
The
me.
two of you ride at each other. Mifi's hand tremors just slightly. Her lance dips. You get in there and swing her lance just wide enough to bounce off of the side of your armor, while simultaneously you get a hit in on her shoulder, like ripping several rings free. Let's see that roll here real quick for damage. You will need a 16 minimum, so that
is a 19.
well, and then it's halved.
Yeah.
So you needed a 32 or more in order to do. You needed a 33 to deal 1 point of damage to her, and so you strike successfully and break your lance because it's an odd number, but no actual damage is done to her.
Doesn't it still trigger the horsemanship roll? Because I know it's hard for the damage dealt, but I think it still triggers the roll.
I'll buy that. I'm not sure, but rather than argue with it,
could it's like how damage you work out damage before armor is removed.
She is unhorsed.
Nice. Does that mean I win?
I think that's how it works, right? If you get knocked out of the saddle, you're donezo.
So from memory, and people who do jousting a lot will correct me on this, you have to be the first to 3 points. 1 point for breaking a lance, 2 points for unhorsing your opponent.
Well, that would be 3 here.
Yeah, that's right.
You see someone waves a flag with your heraldry on it, and nearby people are like, yeah, woo! And you win your joust for the day, and with it, 10 points of honor. Sorry, glory. 10 points of glory. If you got 10 points of honor from this, you would be the most honorable man in the land.
I would be.
For beating, what effectively a jobber.
Listen, Dame Mifi is what some people might call a Glimo backup character, just in case several other people die. And let's be clear, James, you know this could happen.
Yes.
So does Glimo. All right.
I believe I have played Mifi at times.
Yes. We've had difficulties. All right. We've all struggled with battles in this system. Throughout the rest of the day, peasants, freemen, the local serfs of Kendric all begin arriving and setting up. People are selling exotic foods from the far reaches of Britain. Someone is claiming to sell the treasure map to the secret tin mines of Tintagel. There are talks about Sir Leo's criminals who are deserters from Devon, who have been causing problems along the western border near Stonehenge, and so they will be brought back for part of his challenge of justice, which has been added to the final day of the tournament. All of you are invited to join the General Melee tournament that will take place over the next 3 days. Speculating that you will all participate, your first round opponents, Kendric will face Sir Paul, servant of the Baron.
No, I was not going to participate, if that's all right.
Okay, you no one will make you. Your first round draft pick was Sir Peak anyway, so you're both out.
Kyned will participate.
Kyned, you are facing Sir Kerwin de Pitton, who is Kendric's
cousin,
cousin,
I believe.
And Dame Mifi is facing down with Sir Hayden. Also participating in your bracket is Dame Erwin, Sir Leo, and Dame Titania, but they are all on the other side of the bracket.
Part of me hopes that like AP secretly did like an extra recording where he recorded all the other fights in the. Okay.
Not even remotely, James.
Patreons, they're upset. You could have sat there and like resolved all these NPC fights and.
I agree. And it would have been just as riveting as the Blood Bowl matches you do where you battle yourself. Except with no visual representation and just me rolling 2d20s and going, wow, what a hit.
I can get my son to play Pendragon with you if you want. That's why it's ready for Blood Bowl.
Is this the one that totally shattered my ability to play Minecraft?
That's the one. He's hey, role playing is his thing now. Like that's all he wants to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dream of the AP Gaming Real don't worry kids, your parents are cool video. Still on life support.
I had a schedule to do 4 hours of D&D last Sunday at the convention, and then we had an opportunity to get into like the Adventures League Epic, but it was right after that 4 hours. I'm like, oh, if we do that, that'll be like 7 hours straight. It's like, I'm fine. Yeah, let's do that.
He's a natural at convention attendance then.
Last night,
He's like, 5 minutes to get across the convention hall? I can do it, no problem.
Last night, I did 3 hours of Shadowrun editing, which went directly into the start of 2 hours of a Shadowrun show. At some point, I said goodbye, and then people were still talking, so I waited for them to finish talking before I left. And then once I left, Spoon sent me a really passive-aggressive goodbye, AP, and I was like, but I said goodbye. I said goodbye. I'm tired. It's 10 o'clock and I'm old.
I didn't say goodbye to you in the call. So
I see. Well, I'm middle-aged now. 10 p.m. is my bedtime.
Yeah.
Except when it's not.
So Kerwin is, in fact, my cousin, and he is also a progress knight for Lady... the Countess.
Yes, for Lady
Ellen.
Kyned feels like he definitely must... attend the melee as the reigning champion.
Yeah, for sure.
Defending his title, I guess.
What has happened tonight that everyone is just WWE pilled? What is happening?
It's a Royal Rumble. It's in the water, AP.
It is.
But also,
water,
Kyned did actually win the melee at the last.
No, I don't disagree with you. You are the champion. I don't know that I would use the terminology reigning champion. There's not an organized tournament bracket locally, although I thoroughly invite you to spend money and time and plots on that for sure. One day, probably when your character's long dead, one day there will be an organized tournament bracket in Britain.
It's a regular joke in my household. Anytime we try a new board game, whoever wins the first game of that board game will say, I'm going to retire undefeated.
Perfect. I feel the same way. That's why I'm sad I didn't win my first game of Among Us. All right. Is there anything any of you would like to do on the first night? Now, while there's officially not a feast hosted by Kendric, there's plenty of people who've shown up to play music. Kyned sees some regular spy folk around who he has met throughout his travels, of course. And even though it's a local tournament, still plenty of people have come from the surrounding counties. Perhaps somewhat mysteriously, there is an arrival from the... they're called the Gwesi? What do we call them?
Gwesi.
Yeah. Yes, there is a knight from the Gwesi who has arrived and has not demanded entry, but has petitioned to request as a late entrant. Not to any specific event, they simply wish to be allowed to attend alongside any other Knights of Britain. Now, I don't have to tell you, Spoon, that this is a political trap as well, because it's completely untested legally whether the Gwesi, as Saxons, who claim British heritage, are Knights of Britain. So I figured I'd just make you canonically the one to have to make that decision.
Sure. Yeah. What is his name?
Sir Anton.
Sir Anton. Okay. So I think Sir Kendric likes the Gwesi. He likes Kendric, even though he's kind of a fuck boy. So Sir Kendric will allow it.
I'm happy if you're happy. I'm happy to cede my position to him in the
melee.
In the melee, yeah.
Sir Anton gets a pass then.
Yeah. Let's bring him
Back to
in.
your question about what we're doing that night. I think that I will do, since I've been out of Salisbury for a while, I will do my regular vibe check You know, just sort of go and gossip,
Gossiping.
not gossip,
Gossip,
not gossip.
gossip,
Yeah, it's not gossip.
gossip.
No.
I'm just
Just
going to
listen to
tell
other-
you straight up, real quick.
Right.
One of the biggest pieces of gossip is whether the Countess will attend, because her favored knight, Sir Gwgan, is here, and she has not seen him in some time, as he has been off doing a romantic quest on her behalf to help a fellow sister countess. And so, yeah, like, you are one of the major terms of gossip. It's just like, oh my god, I heard that the Countess is gonna drop by and see Sir Gwgan. I mean, have you seen him lately? Look at the gains he picked up out on campaign. Let's see, what other gossip can I give you? You find that in your gossip that messengers from all 4 Saxon kingdoms have arrived, not just in Salisbury, but going as far west as Devon,
Escavalon.
Yes, that's the one. Thank you. That's the one that I definitely said twice. And as far north as Lindsay, they have been sending representatives of all 4 Saxon kingdoms, threatening open war against each other as they attempt to determine who is the most powerful and deserving of the title of High King, the Bretwalda. Of course, High King is such a loaded title in this land of Britain, because, as you may or may not know, the High King is dead.
We might know.
Allegedly.
James is literally watching the Royal Rumble while we're playing.
No. I'm watching social media updates.
Oh, okay. Got it. That's better, actually. That is better.
Yeah, I don't want to distract myself from this intense champagne moment of hardcore in characters.
Wow, this is great radio. So you get your gossip.
Yeah.
Kitty,
Thank you.
Kendric, anything you'd like to do this night? Night 1?
Kyned will talk with some of his agents.
Very well. Are you attempting to gather information about others' plots, or are you actively advancing a plot of your own?
Getting information about others' plots.
Let's make that roll. Now, classically, you'll fail this quite badly and probably get yourself in a bunch of trouble.
Nope, that's success.
You rolled a 1. The only way you can't fail on any roll. You get a success. There are plots underway, or at the very least, there are rumors that there's something between your lands and Ridichan. That the Countess has taken special interest in you, and you just rode 3 days travel. Today arriving. And these plots have somehow arrived faster than your... Now, admittedly, you're part of a baggage train, so you're not exactly moving at top speed. But the rumors have preceded you about rumors that you've murdered the Countess's most favored servant in order to place yourself at her side as her new romance partner. Rumors that your son is being sold into sexual slavery with the Countess. All sorts of crazed shit that commoners come up with during the march. Just wild stuff. But the truth of it, of course, the letter that she gave you, is the only thing people aren't talking about. Which is that she has given you this last-minute alliance offer. Sell your son to her daughter, marry them together, and keep your secrets in the family. What other plots are currently in play? Let me think about that one for a second. I think that Salisbury is kind of plotless at the moment, honestly. That's the kind of information you get back, is that people from afar are sending informants to keep an eye on what Salisbury's doing, but Nothing is actively being advanced in the court of Countess Ellen at this time. I think what you get the picture of is that people are waiting to see what happens at the tournament to figure out what to do next. The election of the Brett Walda and the virtual submission of everyone east of you to the Saxons has kind of ended internecine fighting and rivalry for some time. And everyone west of you is busy fighting each other. So, for a brief moment, like Thorfinn, you have no enemies. Which is very rare for you, Kyned. Very rare indeed. Kendric, anything you would like to do this night?
I think Kendric is going to spend the evening basically kind of entertaining his guests, going around talking with everyone, making sure everyone has, food and drink and is having a good time. Going so far as to, sing some songs, to dance some dances, drink some drinks, just generally be a good host.
I'd love to get a courtesy roll from you.
Sure.
See how courtly your courtesy is.
Not very.
Not on a 19, no. Not on a 19. Not very courtly.
I think he's very tired.
You arrive. There's no problem with you talking to people. You're certainly good at talking to people. But at some point, you try to join the dancing, and it turns into a hello, fellow kids moment when your serfs and some of the peasants who were on the campaign introduce a new dance that you don't know, and you end up looking foolish in front of like hundreds of people who are like, you can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind.
Sure.
They add a new line just for you where someone says, you can act real cool or totally a fool.
Fair enough.
It's a rough time for you. It's not great. It's not great. No one would ever speak out against you at your own tournament. Not even Sir Peak, who is kind of hanging around, not participating in anything since he's not officially allowed, but he can't go home. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
That would not be seen as particularly honorable either. He's just kind of enjoying the local culture.
That's fair.
Kyned, Kendric, any follow-up? Gwgan, also any follow-up? Any extra actions this night?
No, I've got my vibe check. I'm happy.
Yeah, you got the vibes.
Is Countess Ellen here?
She has not arrived yet, but the gossip says that she will.
Not tonight then, but when she does, Kyned will want to speak with her.
Very well. You are all awoken at the literal crack of dawn to the sound of the trumpeting. Your squires are already ready to throw your armor on, and you are off to the races as the tournament melee begins. Spoon, you are up against Sir Paul, who promptly withdraws rather than fight you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate.
Why is that unfortunate?
No, I wanted to fight him.
Okay.
So let me ask a question for the AP.
Yes.
So my character, Gwgan doesn't want to fight in the tournament because right now he doesn't want the risk of like horrible injury or death, having just returned from campaign before returning home. But he would be willing to like get up there and chaucer for his friends.
Yes.
But I'm not necessarily in the headspace right now to be coming up with these
I understand.
sort of like
you have an
intros on the
orate
fly.
skill, don't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do have an
that's
orate skill. Yeah, that's
Yes.
it. Yeah, so
We will simply rely on that.
yeah.
James, I would rather you roll orate than ask DeepSeek to tell you what to say.
I've tried it. It's not great. It's not great. Like if
None
I
of
wanted
them
to
are great, James.
if I wanted to do programming, that's great. But but DeepSeek is terrible for actual for creative writing. I found.
I would rather spend an hour writing a cryptic poem about a bunch of rat people that died in a sewer corridor.
Did I tell you the story about my friend using the high paid version of ChatGPT recently?
No.
So his company like pays for like the multiple $1,000 version of ChatGPT to use, and he basically went and said, "Can you help me to write whatever he wanted to write?" And it just replied back with and it took like 2 minutes, and came back and just said no. Because yeah, in an LM, no is a perfectly reasonable response to a yes/no question.
Oh. Hey. Sir Paul and Sir Kendric's battle is literally the first one of the morning. And so when Sir Paul begins retreating, the crowd demands an answer. And Sir Paul says that he will not face another one of his baron's servants in a battle that could injure both of them. He will not put such risk on the line, and respects the prowess of Sir Kendric as he takes his helm up, ups his lance and withdraws from, ups his sword and withdraws from the field. Glimo, you're facing Sir Kerwin. Kyned versus Kerwin. A match no one ever saw coming.
Could I impassion with Loyalty Order of the Axe?
Yes. But I would also ask for James to make his daily orate roll as well.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, is it only one fight per day? Like, should we be working out?
It is one fight per day, yes.
Okay, cool. So you can. All right. I am not going to impassion my. I'm just going to take a shot at a rating.
Controversial, but I'll allow it.
All right. Yeah. No, I'm too tired from all this travel. My heart wasn't in it.
You rhyme the same word with the same word.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, in modern rap, he'd be okay.
That's right. I got my pentameter all wrong.
Nearby, William Shakespeare goes, "That's not iambic."
That's pentamic. Damn it. This is war.
All right, Kyned.
Okay.
Show me your Super Saiyan power.
I fail my Loyalty Order of the Axe, but it's not a great passion, so nothing happens.
You watch as a deflated Gwgan tries to gas you up. You're looking at Kendric. Kendric is crestfallen that he can't get a fight in as the literal first battler on the field. So you're now the first battler. The pressure is completely off. Like, the crowd is done. They're like, I woke up at the crack of dawn and the first fight just walked off the field, and now no one's expecting anything from you, Kyned, and you cannot psych yourself up to save your life.
Fair enough.
This is a big deal for Kerwin. This could be his moment to shine. He's a progress knight. No one expects very much of him, but if he beats a member of the Order of the Axe like yourself, especially a senior founding member, this could be his way to move up. So he is going to try to impassion as well. He needs a 15 or lower. Okay. He's psyched up. You can see that his aura is radiating alternating red and yellow lines in a sort of funnel away from him as he draws his sword. And from across the field, he goes, "I am Sir Kerwin de Pitton. I stand on this de Pitton field this day, the land of my ancestors, and I will not be defeated, not even by an honorable knight like Sir Kyned." And then he does something totally shocking to people. He uses his gauntlet to grasp the bottom of the blade part of his longsword. And someone's like, "Oh, he just invented a new sword style." Let's go, bro. Let's throw those sword rolls. These swords are rebated. They're rebated. Hold on. I don't think that actually is a critical on his part with the +5 from being passion.
That's not great for me.
Well, you are in a position where everything's rebated. He is rolling 10d6 though. So he needs 33. He does get it. he is going to first blood you for sure.
Is that the win condition for the sword fights?
Yes, first blood.
Okay.
Well, hold on. You're the tournament organizer. Your wife set first blood with while you weren't here. But if you'd like to do it to the death, we could do it that way.
No.
Okay. To the first grievous wound, perhaps.
To the maiming.
Yeah.
To the pain.
Yeah, to the pain. There we go. We'll Princess Bride it for sure. Yeah. Okay. You are going to take 24 points of damage with your shield. And you are going to need to make a... So he exceeded your size.
Yes.
So you need to make the knockdown roll.
That's a size check.
Indeed.
Dexterity.
I fall down.
The two of you clash in battle. Shields swinging against each other. Kyned, you're not a master swordsman by any stroke, but you have won several duels rather spectacularly, and you're also the reigning champion. So at first, people are like, bah, boo, this fight sucks. And then it gets real. Like, it gets really real when Kerwin drops his shield and then does the double-handed sword stance again. And just the extra weight of him choking up on the sword, pulling it down while pushing forward, slams into your armor with unnatural force. A blow like this, if the weapon was not rebated, could kill a man. You go down. He offers a hand to you, his left hand, to pull you up.
I take it.
He uses your hand to like show you to the crowd and says, "He's fine! He is fine!" And people are like, "Woo! Yeah, Kerwin!"
Well fought, Sir Kerwin.
Something came over me, Sir Kyned.
Really
I
must
feel
be
it.
the spirits of your ancestors.
Perhaps it is. I was mostly just gasbagging. The WWE is really a big subject tonight, so I thought maybe if I did some sports... I saw Sir Gwgan doing a thing earlier, and I thought maybe that would be good, but something came over me. A sort of knightly spirit that I've never felt before.
Well done.
Well, it is unfortunate. In the next round tomorrow, I must battle Sir Kendric. The whole tournament will be on the line. But now that your title is lost, it's anyone's game. Boom, why were you smiling when he said he had to fight you?
'Cause, it's guaranteed a Pitton's going to the finals.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's unless you kill each other. Act like you've never seen two teams knock each other out. All right. Sir Anton gets the bye and advances, and people nearby are just like, They're really kind of medium about people advancing constantly with no fighting.
Without no fighting, yeah.
All right. Gwgan, Kyned, I'd like each of you to roll a d20 to represent a battle between Mifi and Hayden. Whoever gets higher wins.
All right, so who's who? I'll be Hayden because he's related to me.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm guessing the point.
Well, hey, look at that. Critical. Yeah, Hayden's dead.
Hayden puts up a good fight, a totally average fight as would be expected of a knight of his caliber, perhaps even slightly better than an average knight, as he is. Is he a senior founding member? I'd say he's a founding member. I don't know about senior. I'm just making terms up. He's been with the group since the beginning. It's just he was with it as a squire. But he's certainly no slouch to field combat or even something akin to dueling like this. Mifi is absolutely let off the chains. She was left as a castle commander and has used the opportunity afforded to her with all of her free time to just practice for this tournament. Absolute gains. She's been eating a dozen raw eggs for breakfast, afforded to her as a castle commander. Lots of push-ups, lots of handstands while walking along the outer walls of the Bailey, sort of shit. Like, she's absolutely jacked. And she doesn't just beat Hayden, she shatters his sword in the process. And then as she shatters it, she's her own weapon immediately afterwards and settles down into like a crouch, and people are like, woo, Team Beefy, we love you! And finally, the match everyone's been waiting for all day. Absolute, total, just people are losing their mind. People are like, all right, it's 8 a.m. Finally, good stuff's happening. Let's see here. Dame Erwin, Sir Leo, and Dame Titania all advance on their side, beating unnamed generic knights.
There's the jobbers we hired.
There's 1,000 people here, okay? Even if I had James's entire family to help me run this tournament, we'd still be here all fucking day. Which leaves Sir Leo versus Dame Erwin, Dame Titania versus a generic nameless knight, Mifi versus Anton, Kerwin versus Kendric. All right, Spoon.
Okay.
Kerwin is still impassioned. Oh, no, he has to re-impassion because it's a new day. Sorry, don't let me get ahead of myself. We have a whole night sequence in case anyone has anything they want to have happen.
I would like to try and romance my wife.
Oh, try to romance your wife.
Is that a euphemism?
No, I don't think it is.
No, nope. He's legitimately like,
He changes his Discord setting to "I love my wife."
Yeah. Yeah. So he just spends the because I imagine we're not throwing like huge feasts every night, but there are like gatherings for food and like food and fellowship. And
how public is this? Is this a private moment, or is this you actively courting your wife in front of the tournament? PDA? Question mark. ASL? Question mark. Do the youth these days know what that even means? Do people still do that?
It's probably like I don't think it's quite PDA, but I don't think it's like a private moment either. So he's like,
right.
I would like to impassion love Gwiona.
Okay. I mean, listen, now when you say that, the stakes are now insanely high.
I mean, yeah, it is a.
Okay.
That's a critical.
Unbelievable! Get the fuck out of here. 15 on a 15. What the fuck? All right, you're filled not with the chasteness of amour, but with the chase. As you and your wife are acting a fool in front of the tournament. I need the roll to lock it in.
I was say,
lock in, bro.
I could still fail this.
I'm letting you cook.
But I did not.
The romance between the two of you is certainly something to comment on. Many people and their wives, notably Sir Gwgan, don't always have a romance between them. They get married for political or social reasons and then keep something on the side, in a Christian way, of course. But you and your wife, you famously have, I don't want to say converted, but bent toward Christianity. Your children are basically being raised somewhat Christian-like, and the two of you making eyes at each other and professing your love, going around very publicly doing so, does delight the common folk who have waited to hear stories of great honors won for some time. It's been a bleak lack of battles and campaigns for the people of Salisbury for some time. And we killed 5 criminals in the woods in Ridichan is not exactly a thrilling story. We paid 2 gate guards to get in is also equally not the sort of valor. People don't talk about the story of how Sir Kyned killed the Countess of Renachan's right-hand man, then held up a shield and went, "Help me!" while a bunch of guys beat the shit out of him. You know what I mean? Like, the people need the stories. They need the spiritual sustenance, and here they have a feast between the two of you and your check-marked love of Guyona. And you know what? Let's just say checkmark romance as well. Let's just go ahead and lock that in.
Fantastic. Love that.
It's a significant moment. Well, it's hard to follow up on that, but does anyone have anything?
Is my jonglers troop here
Absolutely.
for the tournament?
Unquestionably. They're actually competing against the safety dance people for,
Excellent.
best bardic entertainment.
They did the danger dance.
I would like to commission them to make a more heroic story out of Kyned at the last minute, finding his way behind enemy lines. Definitely, to get rid of some of the rumors that what Kyned really did, and to better cement my heirs'
Claims.
lineage in the Countess's households.
I'm going to ask you to roll a d20. A 15 is a critical, and higher than a 15 is a fail. A 20 is bad. Okay.
15 is a crit.
No, I don't like. I hate this. What is happening?
We're killing it, baby. It's the Order of the Axe tonight.
You consult with your jonglers, and there's a new tale being crafted. The secret, humble tale of Sir Kyned that he would not tell at the moment of battle, because his blood brother, Alaric, fell, and he wished to honor him in silence. And yet, there was a child hiding in the wine cellar who watched the two of them fight back to back against a dozen bandit men coming at them. They were throwing alcohol on both of them, setting them alight with flame. And yet Alaric and Kyned, a brotherhood formed in this moment. Two better men you could not find to watch each other's backs. They were rolling over each other while one leaned down, the other rolled over and blocked the blow. They traded swords with each other mid-combat. Then they did a thing where they both high-fived in midair and used the force of pushing against each other to dodge a blow that would have split both of them in half. Alaric and Kyned, Gilgamesh and Enkidu, Picard and that guy from the one episode whose name I can't remember. Names carved into history as Kyned's jonglers tell the tale of how the two of them held the line, and yet the little orphan boy who was down there just hoping to steal a bottle watched all of it happen. And then it happened. Betrayal. One of the bad, evil people stabbed Alaric in the back of the kneecap. Alaric went down. Kyned physically holding his body over him, stopping the blows. Alaric dying of his wounds, stabbing someone past Kyned. Listening to the last words of Alaric, Kyned rose and charged out through the secret passage Alaric told him about. He arrived on the battlements and shouted in a loud voice, "Kyned, I need you!" Or sorry, "Kendric, I need you!" And then all of the men of the castle rose as one on a dozen ladders. Arrows bored over the battlements as truly hundreds of bandits fought with Kyned alone, blocking all of their blows. And the evil bad leader with a massive mace tried to smash Kyned down, but as Kyned lay on one knee, sword blows raining all around him, he remembered the heroism Alaric had showed him just minutes ago and rose from the ground in a mighty roar, pushing 5 of them back as Kyned and Gwgan arrived, stabbing the men in the back. As a reminder, Gwgan wasn't even there in the battle, but in this new epic tale, he was. Is that good? We good, Glimo?
That is
we good?
awesome.
Yeah, we rewrote history
Fantastic.
here. People who were at the battle are like, wow, what a great day. I don't remember it happening exactly like that, but you know, I was drunk. I was high on Red Bull.
Amazing.
Okay, James. Sorry, I just had to freestyle stuff. I didn't have an AI to feed me lines there real quick. I'm gassed out now. I'm gassed out.
Well, do you want to take a break? We're at
I
break
do
time
want
now.
to take a break, actually. Thank you. We'll be back.
That was awesome, Arthur.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Okay, so based on that rule, we're going to make a couple changes to glory rewards. Gwgan, you get an additional 10 points of glory for having been at the battle, even though you weren't actually at the battle. Kendric, you get 15 points for leading the charge over the wall with a dozen ladders, even though there were only like 2 or 3. And Kyned, you get 25 points of glory for being there at the felling of Alaric Banditbane. And you also gain a point of honor, although you will lose that honor and an additional point if you ever confess the truth of what actually happened.
Okay.
Very nice.
Kendric, people generally agree that so far this has been a great tournament, very, very suitable for a local tournament. And they also agree that you are now a more civilized man than you used to be. Very Christian of you. It's a Christian tournament. So you've really been tamed in your ways of the young wolf and the mad bear. Now you're a leader of men, a campaigner, a sieger, a tournament holder.
So now I'm just the bear.
No, I don't think we're going to go that far.
Okay.
Well, let's wait for a new nickname to come up, you know, organically.
Sure.
I'll wait for the audience to say something really nasty about you, because that is generally how people get nicknames.
Yeah, you don't get to make your nicknames.
My call sign's Maverick. No, it's not, dipshit. That's your new call sign, dipshit.
What's it from Big Bang Theory, where Howard tries to get himself the nickname, he gets Fruit Loops instead.
Wow, I feel so glad at not having seen every episode of Big Bang Theory. I'm sorry, Big Bang Theory fans. It just was the same, kind of, after a while. James, is there anything you want to do this night after all of the insane shit of night 2?
No. I mean, look, if I was going to do something, I could compose something for the Countess. You know,
Well, there is the poetry contest on day 5.
Okay, well, I will start practicing my competition then.
Very well.
You know,
please.
Yeah. I'm guessing the contest that you have to like write poetry in like a hothouse. You can't just.
Yeah, it has to be fresh, but there's no reason I couldn't award you a slight bonus if you roll well now.
No, I'm on fire tonight. I'm rolling terribly. 16 over 15.
You have no muse here. Neither wife nor work wife are in attendance, and your faith itself, which has always driven you, is now wavering, and so you have nothing. You don't even have an AI like DeepSeek to fall back on. You're just trying to write, and all you can hear is those jonglers in the background telling the story about how you were there at the battle, and you're like, no, I wasn't there.
I've got performance anxiety from my bad R8 roll earlier as well. You know, so I try to write, but I just keep replaying like I should have said this. I should have said this.
Ah, the wit of the staircase. Yes.
Yeah.
How very French of you. The third day arrives. Kendric, the first match is, of course, you versus Sir Kerwin. And before the sun rises, at your manor, there is a knock on your door from Kerwin, who is meeting with you.
Okay. Sir Kerwin.
Sir Kendric, it would Be unseemly for a knight of your own house to face you in battle this day.
What are you suggesting?
Sir Paul was given an honorable chance to withdraw. I have come here to tell you that I would be doing the same. It would be unseemly of a knight to raise a sword against his own lord. And he claps you on the shoulder, a cousin, or maybe an uncle. You can call me uncle if you want to.
Cousin.
Cousin.
Definitely cousin.
Sure, we'll lock that in.
But one I am proud of. And he'll reach up and pat him on the shoulder and go, if you feel you must withdraw, you will be given the chance to.
He nods.
Coffee?
He looks at you and says, Is this some Merlinic joke? Coffee won't exist for another 1,300 years or so.
I have this thing called Posca that this man named the Squire Galen gave me.
You're going to give him your one draught of Posca,
No.
which, just to be clear, is just vinegar water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you trying
Not
to tell me
good.
the Connecticut Yankee didn't introduce coffee to King Arthur's court?
The Connecticut Yankee it doesn't show up for another 50 years.
We've already seen him. We've already seen him.
You saw a Connecticut Yankee, and they didn't show
I
up in
see.
King Arthur's court. They showed up in King Uther's court.
That's
And
correct, yeah.
I don't think they were a Connecticut Yankee. I think they were just a Yankee in King Uther's court. The Connecticut Yankee has yet to arrive. No, hey, don't worry. We're going to do a whole bunch of shit. We're going to have a bunch more Merlins. We've already had like 3 or 4. We got more on the way. At some point, I'm going to make a reference in this show to whales being added to the Union Jack, because I just saw that flag on Reddit today and it was very funny. Spoon is going to fight his way to the final. He is. That's exactly what just happened. He is going to just get right into the finals. So you go out onto the field to watch the tournament, and people are just booing because you, the tournament organizer and patron, are just walking into the finale based entirely off of who you know.
I'm really Kansas City Chiefsing my way into this final.
Okay, so it's Sir Anton versus Dame Mifi, the winner of which will fight you on the final day, and then you will fight the winner of the other side for the evening of the tournament. So I would like Kenny to roll for Mifi, and let's say James will roll for Sir Anton. D20s, and the higher one wins. Okay, Anton with the 7. Mifi with a 12. Mifi absolutely unhinged. I think that something has awakened in Mifi lately. Like, we've seen her on several battlefields, but being commander of a castle it's just not, it wasn't in the cards for her. You know what I mean? Like, now that she's been given that taste, she's hungry for battlefield advancement and recognition. She was just a knight doing their job, and that was fine, but now someone has taken the leash off, and she's a mad dog, which is her new nickname, Mifi the Mad Dog. All right, let's see here. I'd say let's have Spoon roll for Dame Erwin, and James will roll for Sir Leo. Okay, Spoon got a 9.
That's a 9.
Dame Erwin is out. Sir Leo is in.
A respectable loss, though. It's only a couple points of difference.
So the final day of the battle is Kendric versus Mifi, and then Sir Leo versus Dame Titania. What's going on that night? Sorry, I said final day of the tournament. I meant the final day of the melee portion of the tournament. anything for the third day because the Countess Ellen arrives with a huge amount of people from court that immediately overburdens the local tournament organizers. Quiona is like, oh, dear Jesus, please help assist us. As truly like 100 people arrive. Her personal defense knights, their squires, her handmaids, pages, wards, scholars, scribes, armsmen, chefs, and they don't bring nearly enough stuff.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't RSVP.
I mean, she's the Countess.
Yeah.
There were rumors she would show up. As we go into this, the third night with the arrival of the Countess, there are strange rumors coming out of a place. They're called the islands west of Spain. There are rumors about the strange religion that had beset the lands of Lady Yennefer of Lopez. Lopez has been beset by a new religion which claims to be an offshoot of Christianity, except they worship boxes or cubes or the sun. It's not really understood. It's like an African thing, and it has now moved to islands west of Spain, and via ship has now arrived on the southern shores of Britain. No one's really sure what to make of it.
That's a religion that worships boxes?
Boxes. Or cubes, or the sun. This is a fictional religion. Just, you might remember, as part of the point of tension of having Yennefer come is that a new religion sprung up in Spain. And I don't need to tell you, Spain had a bunch of religions at one point, right up until they had an Inquisition to get rid of them.
Fair enough.
Based on that knowledge, what would people like to do this night? The night before the final day of the Melee tournament. The third night of 5. A night of nights.
Let's see.
Kyned would like to get some time with Countess Ellen, but he's not going to codpiece block Gwgan. So
I think under the circumstances, Wigan's actually going to spend his time now trying to like write to Shrewton or other households to try and get some additional supplies sent here post haste with the so that Kendric's stuff isn't overwhelmed. Like, write to my wife because she's the steward, not me. But trying to. I don't mind spending some money to try and help. Not this be a problem.
You know what? Go ahead and make a generous roll.
All right.
There's no consequences for failure, but on a success, you can take a check mark.
Where's generous column?
left column of personality traits.
Where's the selfish? Yes. Whoa, no.
It's not that you aren't generous in this.
No, I'm doing it for myself because I want to impress the Countess.
Yes,
not doing it for my friend. Yeah.
There it is. That's what I wanted to hear. Yes.
I think Kendric is trying his best to both put faces with names and to recognize people's like coat of arms and heraldry.
So you're saying you want to make a recognize or heraldry check over the 1,000 people here?
Yes.
I'll let you pick one
mostly
of them.
the new arrivals.
Yes. You can choose recognize or heraldry.
I will go with recognize.
Oh.
I mean, this is not going to go well, but
I'll let you take
failure.
a check mark, but yeah, you're looking over the new arrivals. It's not that people suddenly become unknown to you. It's just that you don't know anybody new.
Yeah.
Someone is sitting there explaining to you about how the quester York is vaguely related to the King of Somerset, insofar as he might be the bastard of the grandson who could also be the bastard of the son of the king. Now, his bastardry is in contention because his aunt, who isn't a bastard, may in fact be the true heir to the column of darkness on the reverse side of the world, and may also be half fairy. So it's not clear as to whether he'll be imbued with magic powers or not.
See,
You're pretty sure
Very
the person you're
interesting.
talking to doesn't know what they're talking about.
they're not even from Somerset.
You do find a lot about York of Somerset. It's just all of it sounds like it's untrue. It's a silly place. No one goes there. Mostly because it's magical and they don't have knights. Who knows what could happen in Somerset? Well, Kyned, you were not going to codpiece block, but the way is made clear for you if you want to go talk to the Countess.
I do.
You find yourself reporting to the Countess. She has surrounded herself with handmaids to make sure that she is not bothered by anyone she doesn't want to bother her. And she's spending some time with the real organizer of this tournament, Gwgan, and the two of them part briefly so that you can speak with her, and she says, Sir Kyned, it is good that my spy master is here. I assume you have reports on what has happened in Ridichan.
I do. We were successful in reinstating the Countess to her lands, but my understanding is that word has already reached you.
There are some inconsistencies with what exactly happened.
We were sieging Oxford, and Ulrich and I were fighting against a number of men. Ulrich fell, and he bequeathed to me the secret entrance location so that I was able to get behind the lines, surprise the usurpers, so that Kendric could mount the walls with the rest of the army. However, the Countess would like this information to only be within the family. So she would like my heir to be betrothed to her daughter.
Now, Kyned, I'm going to ask you to make a deceitful roll.
I'm not good at that.
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes. That's a success.
Well, guess what, buddy? You can put a check mark in deceitful
He
as you
believes his
lie
own
to
hype.
your liege lord. To her face. But it's all for everyone's greater good, you know? Someone has to be the mortar that smooths over the wall. As Kyned smoothly lies to the Countess, who believes everything you have to say. There's no story otherwise that could possibly come from a trusted source.
And there's bards singing it everywhere.
Yes, there are. There are. So strange that they were your bards that started the story, but it's so strange the story didn't start being told until after you'd already come back, rather than it starting in Oxford, which is where the tale should have begun. But historians will piece that together in about 1,500 years and maybe put some question marks next to, or an asterisk, about the validity of the claim. But Sir Lionel Regington Barr, historian at the London Museum, may investigate this one day. Knight of Bath. You lie. You lie. And it goes well for you, honestly. It goes well for you. The Countess simply accepts your story, looks around, and says, I'm a bit surprised. I had thought that the expedition commanders, Kendric and Gwgan, would be here to report. Are they held up somewhere? I had not seen Sir Gwgan around, she says, almost girlishly.
I believe that they are about milady. It is Kendric's tournament, so I know that he is making the rounds. I believe Gwgan said he was trying to help with additional supplies, but
My coming has placed a burden locally, but I'm sure the supplies will arrive by tomorrow and see us through the end of the tournament that Kendric and Gwiona have so painstakingly put together. Quite knightly of them both. Right and honorable behavior. Well, speaking of right and honorable behavior, just in case you have a meeting of the Order of the Axe tomorrow, it would be quite wise for you to pass a message along to Sir Gwgan that I would like to speak with him in private to prepare for his poetry entry.
absolutely, milady. I did want to report to you as soon as possible, both to give the news, but also to make sure that you did not have any issue with the betrothal of my heir to the Countess of Ridichan.
If you would like me to stop this marriage, I can.
Not at all, milady. I just, as one of your trusted servants, I would not like to do anything that would upset you.
This will place quite a burden on your heir and family line that your loyalties may be divided between counties in the future. But I suppose that is a question of succession down the line. All of us are drawn in many directions, she says, wistfully looking out across the tournament field towards where Sir Gwgan is at a writing desk.
Well, if there's nothing else, I will bid you good evening and hope you enjoy the remainder of the festivities tonight.
Please pass along to the Order of the Axe my congratulations on a job done excellently.
In your name, milady. And Kyned will bow and take his leave.
All right, Kendric, there's no passes here. There's no buys. You versus Meefy.
Yeah.
I wanted to roll a d20. Check for Meefy's passioning. She's impassioned. Yeah, she's good.
Okay.
What's her passion? What is she passionate about?
She is drawing... that's a great question. I think passion, loyalty, Lord to show her representation of Kyned's family here. Like...
keeping the championship belt within the bloodline. Let's see. Do I try and impassion? She's done really well so far. So I think I'm going to try and impassion Loyalty Order of the Axe.
Okay.
Okay, that's a success.
Gwgan, I want to give you the opportunity to hype man. You want to hit me with those oracular talents.
Kyned did pass word on to Gwgan while they were in the stands cheering to each other.
Sorry, what was that?
Kyned did pass word to Gwgan of the Countess's ask
Okay.
while we're in the stands cheering.
Sorry, I had a cat issue. Think of Moria standing directly over top of me, jumping up and down off of a shelf. James?
Yep.
Did you want to roll Orate?
Sure. See what better today.
What is this?
Yes.
There it is.
Okay, there it is. You know what? If it's not checked, go ahead and check it.
Sure.
Kendric, I don't know what words would be used to describe you and what words rhyme with those words, but Gwgan does. And as he says those words and the words that rhyme with those words, the crowd is like, okay, I'm feeling this. This is the first match of the day and it's finally not canceled. This is a big one. This is a big one. Then Mifi comes out and she's just like, I shall take back the right-wise name of tournament champions unto the house of Sir Kyned. Yes, our family has sacrificed much in recent years. Many have fallen like chaff and wheat. So many dead on our family line. So many given their lives. And we are born of that blood. She pulls her sword out. She's like rallying it around, doing a little swing before she sets up across from you. Pulls her chainmail coif up to set up against you. Well, Kendric, this is your moment. It's the first time you're drawing your sword in this battle.
Yeah, so Kendric draws his sword and like he doesn't have any big show, he just steps forward.
Okay.
That's critical.
I don't like that. I need to roll really good to also get a critical. That is also a critical.
Okay.
The two of you have rebated weapons, but it is no less fantastic when your swords crash and your shields shatter against each other. Slam, slam, the two of you absolutely going at it in a way that has not been seen in this tournament so far. We have not had any double critical moments. So the two of you going at it, people are like, woo, woo, this is what I've been waiting for, yeah, baby, yeah. They moist critical gif all over the place. People are up from the stands cheering. They're buying local mystery meat dogs. Someone invents the hamburger. This steak is too hot to eat. And the local guy is just like, but what if we slice open a piece of bread and put the steak in there? In the background, someone's like, oh no, look at what's happening over there. The vendor's like, oh man, I just invented something really cool. I guess Germany will have to do it in like 1,000 years.
He doesn't grind the meat up first.
Ah, yes, of course. That's well, I mean, well, the original hamburger was just a steak. The meat grinding came later. All right. After a spat of blows between the two of you, your shields absolutely getting wrecked by slamming left hands into each other. Mifi pulls back slightly, the ground getting muddy beneath her feet as she begins circle strafing you.
Mm-hmm.
Jockeying for position. That is a 11. That's not so good.
That is a 7. So I think she wins.
Well, the 11 is from the +5 from her. Oh, wait, yeah. Your higher roll is going to win either way, right? Because your sword skill is 1 point higher than hers.
But no, his 7 has it.
It's already baked in.
Right, but she doesn't have a 20.
He got a 4 on the dice.
Oh, he got a 4 on the dice.
Yeah, because the +5 is already baked into the modifier.
Then yes, she does win here.
Although.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
18 + 3. Yep. Okay.
But does she do enough damage to draw blood?
It is not a critical, so I very much doubt it. While rolling 5d6, she would need to roll a truly horrendous. You basically have to roll all sixes. Nope, she doesn't shatter it. She does enough to get past your armor were it not a rebated attack. She lands blows upon your armor. You feel them. You stumble back slightly. The crowd surges forward, cheering. They're getting what they paid for. They wanted a show, and they're getting it. Mifi, however, seeing that they may no longer call you the Mad Bear or the Young Wolf, but you are certainly not disarmed of your abilities in any way, and she does not drive in further.
Does that exceed your knockdown?
It does not.
Okay.
Not when it's halved. Yeah, it would.
Not even when it's not halved.
Okay.
Kendric is a large man.
I knew you were big, but I couldn't remember how big.
He's technically supernaturally large.
Mifi goes, "That's a big man," like the guy from Game of Thrones. That's a big woman.
That is a success.
Okay. Yes, she also has a success, but your success is a better success. All right.
And that's 25 damage. Which halved is 14.
No.
13.
Maybe.
12 and a half round up.
Yeah. Knockdown is not exceeded.
It's before you have it from rebated, so.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah. But regardless, if she gets knocked down, Kendric is going to let her get back up.
She does get knocked down.
Kendric steps back and waits for her to rise to continue the duel.
You let her get back up again.
I do. It's the honorable thing to do.
Somewhere out there, Chumbawamba begins writing a song. 1,000 years in the making.
They fail their compose roll.
What? It's a good song.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair.
It's before memes were mimetic. There was Chumbawamba. She rises, having taken your blow, wipes a little bit of blood from her nostril, then thrusts her sword into the air, and people go absolutely insane. She sets herself in place, forgets all of that moving around you shit, and just waits for you to come at her. And then with her shield hand, she does this, but because she has a shield on, it takes a really long time to do it, because it weighs so much. I cannot buy a 10+ roll to save my life here.
That's a success, but I don't think I'm going to get enough to get through.
It's actually a tie. Oh, no, sorry. She has a 9, not a 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the +5 doesn't actually change the dice roll. It changes your threshold. Right. So her dice roll is still a 5. It's just her threshold is higher.
Right, but once you go past, oh, you're right. Once you go past 20, it begins lowering it down. Yep. All right.
Yes.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah. So no damage.
He is not knocked down.
Okay. So I think Kendric will bring his sword up in like a salute in front of his face, and he is going to like shake off his shield and grip his sword with 2 hands, and I'm going to do an uncontrolled attack.
Unreal. This is the berserk attack, allowing her a free attack before your attack?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I think that I'm going to do the funniest thing and take a defensive attack to counter your uncontrolled attack so that you basically both insured critical each other more or less, right?
Yeah, because it adds a +10 to my roll, and her fighting defensively adds a +10 to her roll.
Yes. So we still roll, and if someone doesn't get a critical, there's a problem.
Yeah.
I do get a critical.
I also get a critical.
She shield from a down position, you sword from above, from an up position. The two meet. Even the rebate on the weapon is stripped off from the force of these blows meeting together, as you, having cast aside your shield, truly perform just an absolute miracle. The shield of her is like dense in the process. She's driven down into the mud like half an inch so that her boot print is now down there. And the crowd is like going absolutely nuts. And the nearby like weapons armorer is just like, my lord, I have a new weapon prepared for you, or we can rebate yours. We gotta wrap it up, you know?
He'll take the new sword.
All right. While that's happening, a squire is sent out to tell the local crowd, who are mostly 18 plus, why it's a good idea to wrap it up in sheepskin. It's used as a sort of comedic moment, but also it's an advertisement for local sheepskin condoms, paid for by some sort of merchant's guild.
Yeah.
They're waiting for this premium advertisement moment, and it has arrived. Mifi drops her basically worthless shield at this moment and waits for someone to bring her a new, like, rounded shield so that she can re-enter the fight. Her squire arrives with Run, and after a few minutes of the two of you cooling off, you set back up to fight again. Mifi looks at you from over the shield and says, "You're pretty good."
You are as well.
No more defense for me. I can't win by letting you hit me.
Solid tactics. And Kendric takes up a two-handed grip on his sword again. I'm going to uncontrolled attack.
She's going to take her free attack on you. Nope. It's a hit, but it's certainly not going to be enough to get the critical damage she needs to put you down. So I guess there's a slight chance that she could knock you down somehow, but is a 19 going to do it?
I have to check the rules now because a 19 is my size.
All right, we can stop playing our hype music. You say Run stops playing. A squire comes out to explain the rules of King Arthur Pendragon 5.2.
So now I have to make a dexterity check. I pass, so I get to make my attack.
Yes.
At a plus 15. I critical.
What was the actual number on the die?
An 8.
Wow, you really bought your way up to that critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is...
As long as you roll less than 32, I can still get through this.
I roll 43.
Well, okay. This could hurt pretty badly.
So that's 22 points of damage. So she takes a...
It knocks her down.
Yeah. I mean, I think that automatically knocks her down because it's double her size.
She takes 6 points of damage over the shield and armor, which probably isn't enough to give her a wound or anything, but it definitely is.
Yeah, it's just a light wound.
Sure.
Yeah.
You tell me what the finishing blow here looks like.
She gets another roll. Because she gets a free attack and then she gets her regular attack.
I think that the way Berserk works is that the attack happens before his attack, right?
So let's see here. Uncontrolled attack. The opponent against an uncontrolled attack may either make a free attack unopposed, and first, if the attacker is knocked down, his round is over. If the attacker is not stopped, he strikes with his plus 10 to skill. The defender's shield always counts if he has one. Or they can defend, which is skill versus skill, each with their 10 plus bonus.
Okay.
Yeah, she took the opportunity to try to free critical.
Like, I took a risk that she wouldn't be able to do enough damage to knock me down. She did enough damage to knock me down, but I passed my dex check.
Then you knocked her down and hurt her. You tell me what the blow looks like.
So I think she hits him in the side, and he just takes it and just overhand chops down, like onto one of her shoulders, and like you see like rings pop and are like driven down into her gambeson, and like the white of the gambeson underneath the chainmail begins to like darken with red blood. and Sir Kendric will reach down and help her to her feet, and like, do kind of what she, or what, because it was Mifi that beat Kyned, right?
Kerwin beat Kyned.
Oh, Kerwin. Because I think she did the same thing with like her
Hayden.
opponent was like, yeah, Hayden, like, being like, she's fine, like raising her arm up to the crowd.
Okay. Just trying not to ugly cry as she gets demolished on this field by a guy who hadn't even fought in the first 2 rounds. This was her moment. She failed. She came so close and went so far, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. Kendric, you find yourself facing off against Sir Leo, who is similarly impassioned with a love for justice. The two of you are squaring up against each other, and he moves to have a conversation with you in the middle of the field, close enough that the two of you can talk and far enough away that no one else can listen.
Okay. I will approach.
So Kendric,
Sir Leo,
it is good to see you this day.
you as well.
This guy looks like he's aged 10 years since the last time you saw him, which was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He has disappeared more or less from court life for almost half a decade. He's looking over you with a strange light in his eyes, and he says, I've heard strange things about you in my travels.
Tell, what have you heard?
They say that you have forsworn your services to your lady and to God to serve the leader of the fairies in Britain after your death. That rather than give your soul unto Jesus Christ, you have given it unto Oberon.
Well, Sir Leo, as you may know, I have never sworn any oaths to the martyred god. I have only ever worshipped the Lady of Victory and her fellow gods.
He puts a hand
yes,
on your shoulder. You go ahead. Keep going.
He says, but I have I have taken an oath to Oberon, the fairy king, that on my death I will serve in his court for a period of 50 years.
Oaths made to oath breakers hold no value. If you were to swear yourself before Jesus Christ, the King of Kings, I am certain that he would free you of any bondage that you have found yourself placed in. A noble lord like yourself cannot be making deals with fairies.
I appreciate your concern, Sir Leo. It does your character credit.
He looks at you really sadly with an expression that screams from the American South, bless your heart, as he takes up his mail coif and sets himself into a fighting stance several paces from you.
So we're maintaining impassions.
Yes, because you're passionate for the tournament battle. Okay. That's not a great roll from him. It's a 10.
It's not great for me, though.
Yes, it is better than your roll.
Yeah.
Sir Leo's fighting style is that of an older generation from you. It's very Roman. A lot of shield in front, chops around the side. There's no flashiness to it. This is a fighting style that was made for stabbing people in a shield wall line. It was meant for battlefields that no longer exist. This is not the fights of your fathers against the wild Gwesi barbarian, traitor mages and shit like that. This isn't a fight against the modern day Saxons. No, he fights like someone fighting in the army of Aurelius. And your swords clash, and he briefly comes out with like pushing your sword just far enough away to give him an opportunity to smack you in the face with the gauntlets. But it turns out that his damage is really low because his age has lowered his size. So on 46, he's completely smoked here. He needs a critical to advance.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. The only good news I have is that that is a critical. What I was going to say is that his sword skill is higher than yours.
That is a success, so he crits me.
8d6. Not enough sixes in that to make a difference. It's just enough to not hurt you. You do need to check to see whether you're knocked down.
Yes, I do. I am knocked down.
He does not help you up. He lets your squire do it, and he WWEs his way around the battlefield. He sticks his sword into the now churned mud after 3 days of melee and turns to the crowd and says, "Is this not the work of Jesus Christ? Is this not the passion that we should feel? The rightness of two men doing battle. The rightness of the Lord guiding our hands." And people are like, "I don't really know what he's saying, but yeah, we love Jesus." When you get back up to your feet, he goes and grabs his sword and sets himself into a stance again.
I'm going to as Sir Kendric is getting up, he whispers under his breath his house words of Victoria pro audacis, which is victory for the bold, and he's going to fight uncontrolled.
Wow. Okay, you're aware that he is going to have... What is James doing? He's rolling for aura.
He's rolling magic.
James is generating aura. Impossible.
What the fuck?
I don't know, dude.
That's weird. I had a D&D Beyond character sheet open and it's fucking appearing there. That's hilarious.
It's rolling on roll 20. Oh, you must have like
There must be
Beyond
some
20
plugin
or something installed.
Okay, I'll probably about that. Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, he absolutely criticals. I mean, no question about it. He criticals on a 5, so... Okay, I need these 8d6 to be real good. That's a lot of force. Okay, 34 damage is enough to deal 1 point of damage.
Yeah, and if I need
If
to
you
pass
fall,
this dex check,
you're donezo.
I succeed.
Okay, you have the free attack that's almost certainly a critical coming back on like what, a 6 plus? Yep,
yeah,
that'll
critical.
do it.
Rolled at 18.
Yeah.
So
This is how Sir Leo dies. 60 points of damage.
48 points of damage.
Jesus Christ. That could conceivably... Hold on a second. It's not enough to
So
deal
it's
a major
24.
wound, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, it's 24
Okay.
after the halving,
Yeah.
which is then 9 after armor.
Well, it's 10. Yes, it's 10 plus 6, 16. So 24 is 8, right?
24 minus 15 is 9.
Well, it's 16. 10 plus 6, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 8.
8. Let me check what his size is. Probably almost certainly let's put some down with no roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Size is 11. He strikes a blow that chips away at, like, you have like a new scar across the front part of your face very temporarily. Just like a thin incision that a huge amount of blood is pouring out of. In the background, Gwgan strikes some sort of weird JoJo pose and it distracts Sir Leo. You come down on top of him. Again, his shield dents, his whole like hand is just like, ah! and just like the sword blow drives his shield down as you slam a hand into his face, dealing enough damage. I mean, technically you're both out, but there's no question here that you definitely came on the top side of this battle.
Yeah.
Leo has 2 squires to pick him up, and you can see that in the background there's some guy not wearing any armor, but he has like a huge greatsword on his back who like almost comes out to help Leo and then stops and doesn't. And yeah, he stands up and recognizes you as the right-wise winner of this tournament match.
Well fought, Sir Leo.
Well fought in your case as well. It would seem that rather than tournament victor, Jesus Christ has a different challenge for me ahead. I hope that you will find yourself tomorrow at my challenge of justice. It will run concurrently with the poetry contest, so you'll have to make a decision where you want to be.
I will attend your challenge of justice.
He gets a squire to help him off the field, Undertaker style. It's like, I'm a broken man, and this 2 squires on either side help take him off. This seems like a good place to stop for a break. And when we return, we'll see what happens that night, and then the final day. They may fina. Listen, James, I currently have had enough amorying tonight. Someone wanted extra food, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'd send him out of time for my children start knocking on this door and demanding lunch.
No, my brain's cooked. I can't find any way to work my cat into a joke about your kids. I really fired about 3 neurons working on that one, and I just couldn't get them to knock together in a way that made sense. It is the night of the 4th day of the tournament. The final bracket. A successful champion, Sir Kendric, now claiming loyalty and victory in the Pitton tournament, which is the only one that's been held in some time, so it's basically treated as the county affair. Would anyone like to do anything? I said weirdly for no reason.
I need to go and see the Countess about my poetry.
Yeah, okay. Now, is that a euphemism, or are you actually working on your poetry?
I don't know. She made the invite.
Yeah, I mean, the invite is definitely in a non-poetry based.
Okay, no worries. Well,
It's
I'm
an
happy
excuse
that...
for the 2 of you to catch up while you're privately in a tent that people shouldn't enter while you work on.
Okay. Well, then we don't need to play through that. Then I'm happy that there is a fade to black moment where, or is it like a Simpsons where the tent just like bounces up and down? You know.
Did we briefly become a Roger Rabbit style animation? What show was it we were talking about Jessica Rabbit on? It couldn't have been Shadowrun. Was it Twilight 2000?
Yeah, I don't think we've mentioned it in Shadowrun.
I think
so
it must have been
Twilight
2000. Yeah, where someone was talking about
Yeah,
Jessica Rabbit.
that was a thing about Roger Rabbit. Yeah,
I was just like, wow, I haven't thought about that.
Jessica Rabbit specifically.
Yes, and now it just keeps coming back now. All right.
Yeah.
Kyned, anything this night?
No, I think Kyned's gonna rest on his laurels at this point. He'll congratulate Mifi on a battle well fought, and let her know that she brought glory to the House Laverstock.
I mean, this has destroyed her, coming so close to ultimate victory and then losing at the last second. I mean, it's never dishonorable to lose to the ultimate victor of the tournament, right? But this was her moment in the sun to step out from the C team and become like a solid Hayden Gwent level B team player, and maybe even get a last name. Kendric, What's
I
up with
think
you? What's up with
Kendric
that?
is gonna find Sir Kyned.
Shock. Very well.
Sir Kyned,
Sir Kendric, well done today.
thank you. I wanted to congratulate you on your kinswoman's uh, efforts today in the dueling. She throughout the tournament, actually, she has shown herself to be quite a skilled swordsman or
Thank
swordswoman.
you.
Sorry.
I just got done congratulating her myself.
I don't know if how you would feel about this, but I was wondering perhaps if we would extend an invitation to the Order of the Axe to her.
I am fine with that. I worry about. Typically, we've only had one member of each house in the order. I certainly would not want House Laverstock to be usurping our place.
I don't think so. I think, we are us three and Hayden and Gwent are the senior members, but we've got Fev, Erwin, and Seeth, and I think another member would do us good, and Mifi has distinguished herself here. I think it would be proper to extend the invitation, extend the honor to her.
Well, I very much appreciate it. I shall let her know.
Thank you. How did your meeting with the Countess go?
Honestly, I'm not used to further elevations in my coastline, so I wanted to make sure that she did not have any issue with my heir's betrothal, but she seems fine with it, so
It
tis on,
establishes,
as they would say.
I'm sure it will be a fantastic wedding. And it does establish closer ties between Salisbury and Radichan, which, was one of the things the Countess sent us there to do in the first place. So, mission accomplished, as they say.
Indeed.
And I think like Kendric will throw an arm around Kenny's shoulders and go get some drink.
We shall get our drank on.
Wow. We flash cut to Kyned having a nightmare of a battle 100 years in the future, of a grandson torn between loyalties to Ridichan, which he should rule as the rightful heir now that the non-cadet branch has been eliminated, and loyalties to Salisbury as battle crisscrosses the land. It is a pale comparison to battles which came years beforehand, battles just out of reach of this nightmare, battles of great knights who clash together over a hill. But it is still a disaster. A sea of fire in the forest between the two lands. But that is when Kyned wakes up, weeping. And I took that from Crusader Kings 3, where there's an event where you see World War One. You just wake up and you're like, oh, I saw World War One in 876. I have no context for this. It's the final day. You may choose your track. The challenge of justice or a poetry slam.
Poetry.
Yes, of
Me.
course.
I choose justice.
Kyned is not one for either one of these things, so he will go to the poetry thing to support Gwgan.
Very well. We're gonna
Oh,
start.
can you chaucer me?
Nobody has bards that can do it for him. They invent the concept of the barbershop quartet just to gas you up. Kendric, we are going to start with you and the challenge of justice. Sir Leo begins by telling the story of how he met Sir Lawrence Craft and then presents 5 prisoners that he has. These 5 men were assaulting a peasant, but only one of them ended up killing and executing the peasant. The rest were just beating the man to take things from him. Sir Leo presents that there is no king's justice, because there is no king, and so there is no way to charge capital crimes. Are all of these men responsible for the capital crime, or is it just the one who is responsible? And if they are all responsible, do they all go unpunished then? Does the one go unpunished? Because there is no king's justice. And if none of them are responsible for it, are they all punished by the Countess for the crime of assault and thievery?
An excellent conundrum. Let us see.
There is an implicit part of the challenge that you could purposely find them in the Countess's judgment, specifically so that they will be punished gravely. But then no one will be responsible for the man's death. Some justice could be served.
So I will.
Got him.
Do you want me to roll just first, or you want me to make a choice
You can
and
roll
then
just
roll?
if you'd like to, but I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Okay. So I'm going to roll just.
How justicey are you?
Very justicey, but that is a fumble.
Yeah, it's not great. That's a yeah. Do you lower your just by 1?
No, I wasn't like impassioned or anything.
I think when you fumble on these bad boys on a
No,
trait roll.
I don't think so. Well, I guess maybe if I like criticaled the other one, but
When you fumble a trait roll, the opposite trait is checked, and the character acts in accordance with the check trait. So you automatically check
I get
arbitrary,
a check
and you act
yeah.
arbitrarily. How would you feel arbitrarily about this?
Then I would say, well, if you say that there is no king's justice, then none of these men are guilty of a crime
Everyone
because they did
nearby is
not break
shocked.
any laws.
A man stands up in the crowd and says, "He's right. I have read the ancient dictate codes of Steve the Randomly Biased. What he says is the ancient wisdom of a man of Camilliard." And the whole crowd is like going insane, and someone nearby is like, "No, that's wrong. The king's justice must still be upheld, even if there is no king." And now they're shouting everywhere, and there's madness. Leo's just standing in the middle of it, shaking his head, so sad that none can truly see the wisdom of God. But you, the first to speak, are remembered, saying that if there is no king's justice, there is no justice at all.
But there is still the low justice. So the man who killed the peasant does not get punished, but the other 4 who stole from him lose a hand.
All right, that drives the crowd insane. That the man who, yeah, truly, the first man who spoke up about King Steve the Randomly Biased is like, he's right. I support him wholeheartedly. It's what King Steve would do.
Arbitrary,
Arbitrariness.
The dude who committed murder gets away scot-free, but the guys who just took stuff get named.
Yeah. True justice. Complete random chaos. Kendric, needless to say that there is no winner of the challenge of justice due to your actions, but your reputation with Sir Leo has suffered mightily as a result of your immediate proclamation.
I mean, it probably didn't help that I broke 3 of his ribs yesterday.
All right, Kyned, it's time for an orate roll.
Oh, I was okay.
You can listen. You can do the orate and possibly fail, or you can just have your guys or oracular.
Oh, I was not participating. I was
Right, you're gassing up Gwgan.
I was just
Or
I was just being there to support him.
Oh, okay. You're just standing nearby. All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Because
Gwgan.
I am not likely to help if I.
So, I'm going to write about the countess, obviously.
Okay,
but
the topic theme is
Oh.
a rose.
oh, right. Sorry. Okay. All right.
You can definitely still
yeah,
work the
explain that, yeah.
countess into that.
Well,
for
so,
sure.
so the main thing is I didn't want to make it about. I didn't want to focus on like I've done lots of poetry about like her beauty, etc. I wanted to write about the what she did by sending troops to protect her fellow countess in Witterchan. So, and I think that because the issue there was the fact that men didn't recognize the countess's ability to lead. So I think that the rose analogy will form. It's a feminine analogy.
Yes.
The rose being a symbol of woman, and also that the rose is a symbol of my house as well.
Wow, he doesn't need AI to do this shit, guys. He just does it because he can.
Yeah. And there'll definitely be like an element that a rose bush also has thorns.
Yes.
So
yes.
the countess
and
is not a woman
roses
to be taken
often
lightly.
grow in great numbers when left to their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And you plant roses where you want to grow apples, for example. Or grapes. All right. Can I roll a more Ellen because it is about Ellen still
Yes,
as a
of
passion?
course.
Yeah,
I would never
I'll-
stop you, but you can only roll one passion. So
Yeah, that's fine. It fails. Yeah. So thankfully, it's not high enough that I go melancholy.
not quite yet.
No, but it does go down by one. So now I will compose. Okay, it should be at a -5, but that still succeeds though. Sorry.
Yes, so I buy that.
No, it does not go down, and there's no result
Okay.
under
sorry.
For 15
rolls
minus?
that
Okay.
use that we're doing. Yeah, because it's
Still pretty good then.
because you had a 15, not a 16.
Not 16. Yeah.
They have to be famous passions.
I think I would like you to roll romance as a follow-up to this.
Okay. Yeah, that's just
Okay.
not a great success. It's a
Yeah,
success.
but go ahead and check mark it if you don't already have it.
Yeah.
Now, poetry is subjective, as is most art, one might say. And James, I don't know about
Sorry.
Gwgan, but you certainly have a subtle mind. The exact topic of what this poem is about may elude some, even many, but to those judging the tournament and to the ladies of the court, its meaning is quite clear. They understand all of the analogies to recent events and to the Countess, and it definitely sets off some tongues wagging like, oh my, oh, we're inventing the fan flutter right here at this tournament. Whoopsh. There are no winners at poetry, but
And everybody wins at poetry.
everyone
AP.
wins at poetry, but you definitely won. So, Kendric, you receive 50 glory for winning your own tournament. Let's see what else here. You win 100, and you also win 100 just for being the sponsor of the tournament. So 200 total for your participation. James, you get 20 for winning the poetry contest, and Kyned, you get 10 for being a sponsor of someone who was in the final rounds, essentially. You also personally receive 20 for your participation.
Woo!
It's some glory. It's good glory.
It's gonna put me to that I can
Over the
up an
1,000.
attribute.
Over the 1,000?
There you
Over
go.
1,000.
There you go.
It's gonna be a big episode next time when we do that end of year shit, huh? Kendric, it's time to make a decision.
Okay.
We've been hyping up this battle for some time. You might call it foreshadowing. It's not exactly Sir Arthur Dane, Knight of the Morning Star Dawn, or whatever they call him, you know.
Night of the morning.
Yeah. But the Baron and you are scheduled for a duel of fate this winter, unless one of you backs down. It's that time.
It was suggested that perhaps changing the terms of the contest to something less martial into like something else. If that's not amenable, though, I will. Kendric will not embarrass the Baron.
I think that if you are willing to play whatever version of chess exists against him in a series of public matches to show strategic dominance, a recognition that you are the two most skilled commanders of fieldcraft in this time place.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, he doesn't know a lot about sieging castles. He's certainly getting a lot of experience about fucking building and supplying them, for sure.
Well, guess what? I don't know a lot about sieging castles either.
Yes, but you're rolling gaming, so...
I don't know a lot about that either.
Well, he doesn't have an 11, so that's a failure.
Let's see here. Gaming. Oh my god, a success.
Wow.
You play several matches of high profile. Again, I don't know that chess exists right now in this part of the world, but there's always been some sort of, you know, whether it's backgammon or something. It's Britain, so probably you're playing whist or some equally ridiculous card game.
No, we're playing sorcery. The
Yes, you're playing Gwen's card game. You have absorbed an enormous amount of knowledge against your will just by osmotic pressure of being near him while talking about it.
It's because Kendrick's deck is so good because Gwen has customized it for him.
yeah.
It's like that the Penny Arcade comic about two dads prepping the decks of their children's Pokemon cards to fight each other, and the kids are just like, I'd rather just play Pokemon.
Gwen's like at one of these matches and he like nudges somebody's like, that deck's worth 700 Libra.
I carved all the cards myself. Wow, are we establishing that Kendric is Seto Kaiba of this timeline? You have the blue eyes white dragon, the strongest card in history. Impossible.
Oh, man.
The Baron never quite draws his blackluster soldier or his dark magician, so he is soundly defeated, and there is no question. Whether you are more skilled commanders has yet to be seen. Whether you are more skilled at siegecraft may never be known. But who is more skilled at the heart of the cards? Sir Kendric trusts in himself, and the Baron trusted on blind luck. Well, 5 glory for dueling the Baron. Incredible that somehow the two of you dueling ended up actually being a card game duel. I want it known, audience, I didn't suggest it was cards.
I think it's very funny that it is, though, because it makes total sense that like that I rolled a 2 playing whatever this card game is that Gwent has dreamed up.
Sorcery. Yeah,
sorcery the collecting.
Collecting. Oh my god. Wow, what a shameless sellout. Capitalism, the card game. Gotta have them all.
Yeah.
This truly is all that is funding Gwent's incredible addiction to silver powder. Yeah, it's like, I use so much silver power stopping witches that no one ever knows about. And having tons of kids. All right. Any closing thoughts for the night? Any last minute plots before we do end of year next time?
No, I think that it's going to depend on how our lands are going to get back if we come back late from our campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you, you're already taking a penalty for, leaving your peasants out all summer. It's not the best.
So did I think I may have missed it in the game. Did Sir Gwgan and the Countess like spend the night together?
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely did the woohoo with Countess action.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, sorry. Are we doing it Sim style?
Well, that's why I said it seems like the tent bouncing up and down.
Yeah.
And the Simlish giggling.
Please don't make Simlish canon.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
I know. I don't want it canon in this fucking game.
Oh, okay. All right.
I already have enough problems not saying Huttese in every game that I'm in, so. Well, I think we've got a bit of a rough schedule. We're not back next week or the week after. We're back on the 22nd, maybe. And then we're out again until March 1st. Is that right?
I'm out the 1st.
Ah, yes. So the 22nd, and then we're out for 3 weeks. Then we're out for 2 weeks, maybe. Okay.
Wait, are we off the 22nd?
No, 22nd is when we're back.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
So not next week, not the week after.
And then we're back then.
And then we're back on the 22nd. We're out on the 1st.
There is a slight chance of next week, but probably not.
We'll see. I'm not going to lock that one in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So next week would be my birthday if we do it.
Well, happy birthday, James. We can do a special James's birthday intro hour this time next week.
Yeah.
If you'd like to have a celebration of your day of birth, we can invite people to have short presentations on James.
Well, that's like the roasters. It's a roasting. Okay. I mean, look.
I wasn't going to do that, but now that you've said it, it seems like a good idea. My presentation.
As long as I know who's coming, so I can prepare counter roasts for everybody involved.
I'll be there.
Now I'm afraid to come, but I have to be here because I have to turn the stream on.
Yeah, you're the roast master.
You don't want me as a roast master. I'm fucking mean, dude. I'm an EVE Online player. Let's be real. I would say horrible shit that I would regret. Oh, man. All right. So we could be back next week for James's roast. Although, again, I didn't call it that. I'm going to call it James's birthday celebration intro hour. And that's what's going to go on the schedule. That's what's on the record. It's going to be 1 hour celebrating the life of James. I think my presentation might be on James's presentation on the APGamingREAL convention meetup at Gen Con. I'll be doing an on-stream breakdown of the stuff he talks about in his upcoming meeting. Just so that everyone knows what's happening, rather than risk being roasted by James. Because when it happens to me already, it hurts so badly. Any other thoughts we need to get off the table here?
It's a good episode. Enjoyed it.
Perfect. I just want to say, I think Wales has a legitimate shot of being added to the Union Jack. I want to see it. I just want some fucking dragons on that bitch.
For sure.
Give it some character. Have a good night, audience. And you know what? Have a good time zone.